Hey there, everyone. Hello, hello. Whew. Wow. Hey, Crocky, Crocky. Welcome, welcome. How are you feeling this Saturday? But yeah, first time for everything. Good, good. I'm glad to hear it. I'm doing pretty alright. Um, just making sure everything's good to go, I think? Hey, Doran. Welcome, welcome. How are you feeling today? Let me actually just check through something. Uh, oh, wow. Good stuff. Well, I'm glad to hear that you're doing so well. And that it sounds like you have a chance to just relax and enjoy yourself now. That's good, that's good. Whew. Just to make sure everything sounds good, and the audio is not too loud? Because I'm using a new music source. Okay, okay, cool, cool. Glad to hear it. Today I have, I believe all my emotes should be working. Yeah, okay, cool. And I've got all of my redeems for today set up. Ooh, nice, nice. Well, I hope you enjoy your summer break. Do you have any plans? I imagine you'll probably potentially be spending time with friends, family, maybe going to the beach or the pool. I'm not sure how people have changed what they do during summer break since pandemic. Okay, that's fair. It makes sense because like you've been working for so long and now it's time to just kick back a little bit and relax. Get a little jelly brained. uh yeah. I will admit I'm still a little nervous to do this. For some reason all my good ranty thoughts come out like when I'm pacing. It's weird. Like whenever I'm pacing, my brain starts to like kick into overdrive, but I kind of hit like a nice relaxed groove. But it's so different when I'm sitting. It's like, huh, I kind of just want to relax and listen to the music, but that's like not really viable here. um, but yeah. So I'm kind of gotta like get used to just like getting my mind into the same talking space as when I'm walking around. I don't know. But yeah. It definitely doesn't help that I really just enjoy listening to these ambient BGs in the background. But I guess I'll just talk a little bit about myself then. This week has been pretty wild. Like, I've been working on... Yeah, definitely, definitely. It's an interesting challenge, but I definitely want to, like, take this time to, like, better get to know everybody. Yeah, yeah, it's like just brain goes burr. It's like, oh, it just slowly stops. It's like, oh, there's no content to, like, make dumb jokes about. Ah. Well. Yeah, that's not looking so good. Let me just double check that's typed correctly. There we go. Cool, cool. Alright. Well, that was easy. Yeah. And weirdly enough, I lost my track a little bit with that. But I have a couple ideas on what to talk on today. Nothing too hard set in stone. But I think this is just really a good chance to get to know each other a little bit better. And maybe potentially retrace, my slow and steady journey as a VTuber? I don't know. Because I got my old slides up from my debut. But yeah, this is more of just like a relaxed, get to know each other kind of stream. And if you guys have any questions that you want to ask me on stream, go right ahead. That said, if it's a lore question, and you want a straight answer, I have a channel point redeemed specifically for that, because if it's a lore question, I might give an indirect answer. But it'll still give you a clue, most likely, you know. Because what I really enjoy about lore is the exploration of it. Not just, like, learning something new, but also, like, theory crafting. Because once you have an answer, then all of the theorizing kind of stops. And instead, like, it's like, okay, we have the definitive answer. We don't have to think about it anymore. Like, we just have the solution. And the solution can be really nice and satisfying as a reader or a watcher. But it's also, it removes the potential to speculate. And I think that's a really cool experience, personally. And that's part of what I really enjoy about the Dark Souls franchise. And Soulsian storytelling, or diegetic storytelling. That sense of, there are these gaps, and you can sort of, like, be like, is this what's really going on? Like, that's the shit I eat up. But yeah. Favorite book? I'm actually a big fan of the Artemis Fowl series. It's weird, because I don't actually do a ton of reading. I probably disappointed all of my librarian friends, like, immediately. And that's fair. You don't have to know about Dark Souls. I guess the only takeaway you have to know is that, they're very vague with their story. Oh, that was a weird peek. They're very vague with their story. And because of that, maybe I should just reduce my volume a little bit so it doesn't peak as much. That might be a little bit better. Device property. Oh, I see what happened. For some reason it increased its own volume to 74 instead of 60. Gotta be careful about my microphone, it's very sensitive. That's pretty cool, yeah. Dark Souls, like, when you pick a class, there are so many different options that get you started, but they don't necessarily force you to stay in that role forever. You still have the freedom to, like, build your character as you go. But yeah, Dark Souls is very vague with its storytelling, and it lets you kind of fill in the blanks. But yeah, favorite book, like I was saying, enjoyed the Artemis Fowl, books. I'm not sure about the movie, like, the movie's been in the works for, like, ever now. But I don't know, I've enjoyed a lot of books that aren't really series. Like, I think there's one called The Dragon Guardian that I thought was really good. I like coming-of-age stories, usually. I think they're really critical to the human experience, personally. But yeah. They speak of challenges and struggles that we slowly rise to, reach. And it's a weird point that we all reach at a certain age. That's fair, that's fair. It is definitely a good one. Good series of books. The movie, from what we've seen, probably doesn't do it a lot of justice. They kind of borked it. But I've heard a lot of good things about Animorphs, but I never actually finished reading Animorphs all the way through, because, like, it's hard to, like, keep up with a book series, like, when you have to keep getting all of these serialized books. So I've only read bits and pieces of Animorphs, but from what I've heard from, like, I'm gonna plug another YouTuber here. Let me just find him. Lord Ravenscraft. He did a really good breakdown of Animorphs as a franchise. And it makes me kind of want to go back and read Animorphs. There are so many good books, but I've mostly consumed media through manga and anime and not really audiobooks. Mostly just watching and spectating. I find that more immersive as an audience, more easily digestible. Reading lets you go through the series faster, and at your own pace. Watching it kind of like breaks it up into nice digestible bites for like a short experience, I feel. Which is really cool. Like, different mediums have different expectations and different desires from the audience, which is, I think, is kind of interesting to sort of digest. Like, Twitter content isn't the same as Twitch content, and Twitch content isn't the same as YouTube content. There's, like, boundaries and spheres where they're, like, sort of similar and bleed together. Like, you can turn one content and adjust it to be better suited for a different kind of content. That's fair, that's fair. Sometimes it's good to, like... I mean, I guess that would be your 3-episode anime challenge, except in book form. You read a couple pages, and if it doesn't grab you, you're just like, alright, whatever. Just put it away. Because it didn't grab you. And just like a TV show or a movie, there needs to be some kind of hook to bring you in. Oh, that's really cool. Well then, if you don't mind, I'd like to turn the question back on you. What was your favorite book growing up? Or favorite book now, even? Hey, Federico, welcome, welcome. Oh, interesting, interesting. If you don't mind my asking, I'm actually kind of curious, what did you study up at uni? And how are you feeling, today, this fine Saturday, Fled? It can definitely be tricky to get back into reading after a long time, because, like, or getting back into anything after a while, because you're sort of, like, not used to using that, like, metaphorical muscle, so you gotta get back in the swing of things. I feel that with streaming, or video making, or anything, really. Ooh, very cool. A little bit of a polyglot here. Very cool, very cool. I'm gonna keep saying cool all the time, because that's just, you know... A lot of my favorite buzzwords are like cool, interesting, I think everything is interesting. Yeah, that's just part of my personality. I'm like, man, that's something I didn't know. That's interesting. That's fair. I actually took some time to study Japanese for a little bit. I still remember some of the words and phrases. I can still read hiragana very well. Pretty sketchy on kanji, and pretty sketchy on katakana, but I can make out most of them. I just find a lot of katakana blends together for my brain. Yeah, kanji's really cool though. It's such an interesting idea to use like iconography to represent like words and ideas, and I believe the Egyptians did something very similar with their writing system. Oh man, Sonny, that reminds me of like girl teenager speak, stereotypically like, oh man, I don't know. It's so hard to not use the word like, to like use comparisons. Okay, that's fair, that's fair. Hieroglyphs versus ideograms. I actually need to learn the difference between those two. That's fair. And if you'd like, Midorine, please feel free to just share a listing if you'd like. I don't mind. I think that's the whole point of this stream, to like touch base and get to know each other better. Because you guys have like, I mean, I've gotten to know you guys a little bit through chat. But I feel like you guys have gotten to know a little bit about me just through, like, how I play games or how I talk about games. And it's those little interactions, but I hope that this, gives a chance for you guys to get, like, a better sneak peek, I guess. Master and Margarita by Mikhail Bulgakov. Okay, feel free to take your time. I understand that, different, books have different, translations. And that reminds me, you've actually reminded me, there are some really good books that I've read, like The Warrior of Light and, the Upanishads, the Tao Te Ching. Those are really good spiritual books, though. There's also, gosh, what was it? The Alchemist was a really good book. Paulo Coelho just has, like, really good spiritual books. But, like, I kind of have a taste for philosophy and spirituality. That's just some of the content that I like to read as well. But yeah, I also read some, like, Eastern and Western philosophy books as well. Big on existentialism versus nihilism. I found Socrates' stuff on virtue pretty interesting. Ooh, fiction and science fiction. Okay, that's pretty cool. Thank you, thank you. I'm more of a hack mage, but thank you. That's just me being a little self-critical. As much as I've read, there are so many other things I haven't read. And it makes me feel like, there are things that I can talk about, but, like, maybe not as well-versed as, like, someone who, like, studies it very on a scholarly level. Are there books that go straight to action? I would actually feel comic books, but those are, like, technically a book. But when people talk about books, they usually talk about novels. Yeah. Angel's Game by Carlo Ruiz Zafón. Okay. I might have to check that out. A short story competition. So you all would, like, write short stories and, read it to each other? Or maybe have each other read each other's short stories? Ooh, okay. I might have to check that one out then. Okay, okay. I could definitely see that, Fled. You definitely seem like someone who really likes to learn new things and share that knowledge with others. Which is, like, really cool. Okay, so, yeah. It's good to have, like, a writing cap so people don't go too far off tangent. You don't want really purple prose for a short story contest. Man, young adult novels are like, that's the good content. Okay, cool, cool. I remember joining, like, a small writing club once for a friend, and things didn't go so well, everyone ended up canceling. But it was really fun to just, like, write a short story. And at least keep them company for a little bit. I don't know whatever happened to the rest of that writing club. We only met together once. And then I guess after things didn't go so well the first time, it never ended up reconvening. But it's really nice to just write short stories together. It was really unfortunate, but it happens. Sometimes people are like, oh man, that sounds like a great idea, but then there's the commitment issue. They thought they were up for it, but they actually ended up not being up for it, you know? There's, you know, meeting in person, there's writing, there's taking time. But it was a really heartfelt, selfless idea to kind of throw out to her friends. Yeah. And that happens with a lot of things. And that's why I think it's really important to, instead of focusing on things that last forever, to focus on things that, well, like, everything, you know, crumbles to dust in the end. But I think it's important to remember that just because everything goes away at some point doesn't mean it wasn't beautiful or precious at the time. And we still get to keep those memories. So it's important to cherish them, and cherish each moment we have. So yeah, that's just my viewpoint. Be grateful for, well, not be grateful, because that immediately sets the idea that if you're not being grateful. But yeah, it's appreciate the moment. And that's why I also am really excited to play and share The World Ends With You with the game series, The World Ends With You guys at some point. Because I'm a big World Ends With You fan, or TWEWY. But man, love that game series. I say series now because now it has a sequel. It's had like 3 or 4 different remakes. It's a really good one, and I hope to stream it soon. I have a capture card for my Switch, and I still need to experiment with it to see if I can get it to work. But it's a really great story. And I feel like there are a lot of really good stories in video games. And that's kind of part of why I made this channel, I guess you could call it. To share and appreciate those kinds of stories that maybe might be missed or deserve a spotlight or a character spotlight. Because I think there's a lot we can learn from different stories and characters and their struggles and trials and tribulations and bring it to our own life. Maybe not directly or immediately, but there are lessons to be learned. Yeah, Undertale is also really good, especially because it gives you a sense of action and consequence. Which, a lot of games, like, because you're the hero, like, everything ends up okay, even if you do something suboptimally. Like, if you chose to kill the guards instead of sneaking past them, you don't get to see their families on the other side of that, grieving. You just know that, like, you know, you still completed the mission. But I feel like in Undertale, it really shows you that impact. Yeah. And I really appreciate games that offer a stealthy or diplomatic peaceful option. And I think that's really cool. I understand that for video games, because they're an immersive medium, that it's important to have a sense of action and tension, and life and death is a very easy form of tension to write. Because everyone wants to live, so of course you're going to defend yourself, and no one wants to lose, so you're going to try and win and not die. But there are other ways to form tension. And that's why I also kind of like Slice of Life series to a degree, where they focus on more mundane, ordinary struggles. Okay. Xenoverse 2 was actually not bad. It was pretty cool. Being a time patroller and, like, fixing the timelines and stuff is pretty neat. But yeah. Whew. Let me just close these tabs about books and games. I just love that little da-da, da-da, like with the music here. It's like a nice little build-up moment. I don't know, I'm just... What Remains of Edith Finch? Ooh. That book sounds very familiar. I think that's a really sad book, but I think a really good one. Yeah, okay. But... Okay, that's fair. Wait a second! I think I know what game you're talking about! Oh my gosh! Wait, did Inanis play that? I think she did. Hold on a sec. I need to look this up. Oh my gosh, yes, I know exactly what you're talking about now. Oh my gosh, extremely sad. Holy cow, I cried. Oh my god. I knew that sounded familiar. Holy cow. Like, it was a very beautiful book. Sorry, a beautiful game, I mean. It felt like an experience, like, wow. Yeah. It's both really dark and tragic, but also hopeful of the future. It's What Remains of Edith Finch. It's sort of like an interactive story game. Man. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, man. Oh, Celeste, so thank you so much for the hydrate. I hope you're feeling well today. Thank you so much. Yeah, absolutely amazing game. But yeah, I hope you're feeling well today, Celeste. Glad to hear it, glad to hear it. Ooh, Tales of Berseria. I love the Tales of series, but I do feel they're a little weirdly formulaic. Like, they always put you in one perspective against another perspective, and then they throw, like, the big Uno reverse card on you, and you get to see the other perspective, which is very cool and holistic. But Tales of games are just really cool. I hear ya, yeah. They really put you in the main character's shoes of like, man, they really did wrong my girl. We gotta get revenge. And I think like each game has like a critical conflict, and I think Berseria is like, emotion versus order, I think, was the idea. Yeah. All good, all good. Thank you so much for checking by, Rin, and tuning in for a little bit. I hope you have a lovely sleep, or rest easy. But I'm so glad to hear you're feeling better, Celeste. But yeah, I'm doing alright. Just relaxing and unwinding with everyone. Just kinda talking about stories that we really enjoy. And thank you so much. But yeah, we were talking about books and games and stories that we really just enjoy, more or less. So, are there any games or stories, or... It could be a book, it could be a video game, it could be... Celeste is another good game. I need to actually, like, play it, though. All I know is it's, like, a really good, platformy game. But it sounds like it's got a good story to it, too. So I should definitely check it out sometime. But yes, Celeste, to catch you up, so we're talking about all sorts of books and manga and video games and TV shows that we really enjoyed and appreciated. So if there's any you'd like to share with us, please go right ahead. Oh yeah, Cuphead's pretty fun. Ooh, okay. I like Symbolism. Symbolism's pretty good. Do. Ooh, I like that. I like that. Messages of perseverance in spite of, overwhelming odds or adversity or just, entropy are really cool themes. And I think really important for life in general. Yeah, you can't let your failures define you. And you just have to pick yourself up and dust yourself off. As hard as that is. Sometimes we need to cry it off. Really. And take some time to really grieve. but it's really important to not give up and keep going as best you can. And yeah, games with that kind of message are really mature in my eyes. Like, it's easy when the going gets, when the going is easy to keep going, but when things get hard, you're really challenged. Yeah, there's a game called Celeste. If you want, I could probably pull up the trailer for it. But based on what Fled and everyone else is saying, it's got a really good story. I just know it as like a really cool platformer game. Let me get the... Is it? Oh, I think it's on sale right now for 75% off. I might have to pick that up then. For anyone who wants to check it out, here's Celeste's theme page. Yeah. Yeah, Binding of Isaac is, definitely a really sad one. Yeah. It's hard to figure out what's real and what's fantasy in the story, but when you break it down, it's not fun. Yeah. Binding of Isaac, not the, yeah. It's rough. Also, I'm sorry, yeah. Also, if the ads are too much, I'm still trying to work on them. Just as a warning, I'm still trying to figure out how to adjust ads on my channel. Because I'm trying to work on it so that it doesn't do pre-roll ads, but for some reason I can't make it so I can do my own ads yet. Okay. Because I don't want this, like... I know that my channel could be, like, reductively looked at just one big advertisement for games that I love. Which, technically true. Because I do want to be self-aware and conscious of what content I'm putting out. But I also don't want this to, like... While I do want this to eventually take off to be something more, and to potentially support myself, I don't want to rush to that, and I do want this to be a good experience, you know? And I want to focus on the experience that we share. So I'm still trying to figure out how to adjust ads so it's not too much. When you heard the story... Ooh, that's spooky. I think it's really cool when horror games... Well, Isaac isn't a horror game, but I think it's really cool when horror games, like, kind of, like, hit you with a sense of, like, dread or lingering fear. That really sticks with you. Of course, you don't want that to be to an unhealthy degree. But yeah. That's just my thoughts. Like, I think it's cool. Yeah, and with movies too. Absolutely. But would you mind, I'm actually kind of curious why you gave, the open mouth surprise emote. Was it something I said, or something that Crocky said? Oh yeah, Lovecraft is really wild. Like, The King in Yellow was, I didn't read it myself, but I saw someone break it down, and it was like, huh. That's a really interesting idea, but I don't believe it was written by Lovecraft himself. Okay. Cool. Ooh, the Dreamlands. I might have to check. I honestly need to read some of Lovecraft's work at some point. Because I know I've heard little bits and pieces and it's used in popular media these days, but like, I need to actually sit down and read them. At some point in the future. But I guess, like, right now I'm kind of just focusing on, I don't know. Dream Quest of Unknown Kadath. Okay, okay. I'll definitely have to keep that one in mind, then. The Mountains of Mad... I've heard of the Mountains of Madness. Okay. Definitely something to keep in mind, then, honestly. Yeah. Oh, jeez. I mean, it's important to be cautious, of course. But yeah. Might have to be a little careful with, consuming horror medium stuff. But I'm glad you at least enjoyed enough to keep watching it. But man, yeah, they can definitely make you a little, self-conscious, be like, oh no, like, is it here? Is it, like, you know, is it gonna get me kind of a thing? Yeah. There have been some horror games, like, I'm not usually, like, the jump-scary type. Well, not really jump-scary type, but I'm not usually, like, the one to be, like, screaming or anything. Or, like, doing over-the-top reactions. But, like, man, I can get spooked. And be like, oh, shit. I'm doomed. Like, whew. Definitely not the genre that I immediately seek out. But it's cool to, like, enjoy sometimes. Grow Song of the Evertree. Yeah, I've seen you, I've seen, the notifications on Discord. Okay, cool, cool. I should definitely check it out sometime, then. Oh, wowee. That's a yikes, that's a yikes. Ooh, that kind of reminds me of, like, the premise of, what's it called? Gosh, what's it called? It's, Ori and the Blind Forest. Yeah, restoring Lost World games is a pretty cool theme, I want to say. Yeah, Amnesia's actually, like, a really good horror game. Like, the original Amnesia. Like, A City for Pigs, A Thing for Pigs was also not bad. Purple Thorny Vines. Oh, man. That sounds like something out of, like, Terraria with, like, the infection or whatever it's called. The corruption? I think that's what it's called. I don't know. It's something like that where, like, there's this dark thing that, like, creates, like, dark insects and stuff. I don't know. Yeah, okay, okay. That's what that kind of reminds me of. Go right ahead. I sure hope they work. Well, I saw the alert go off, and it seems to be not playing? Like, I'm not hearing it. Are you hearing it? Because my sound alerts are set to on, and it's monitor okay, yeah, that's weird. Because I set it to monitor only. There we go. Okay, I just had to restart the audio properties. There we go. Jeez, I'm so sorry about that. Okay, well the Animu wow suddenly, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I just had to... Like, it was the... I set it to the exact same input as before. So, I even have the sound alerts page open in my browser just to, like... Because I was thinking maybe I have to be in the browser for it to work. No, I just have to reset the audio source every time I go into OBS. Yeah, that's weird. Okay, cool. I appreciate it. But yeah, I with my redeems, I've got some fun and relaxed ones. I lowered the cost of a lot of them. No problem. I wanted them to be cheap because I know that some people might want to save up for some of them. And I want to encourage people to get comfortable with, you know, using redeems. But also, like, of course I've set timers on all of them so they can't be spammed. But I do want to get everyone in, like, not really the habit, but comfortable with interacting with chat. You know? And I was hoping by setting them cheaper, like, it means you don't feel like you're losing too many channel points for the thing you're saving up for. If there is even something you're saving up for in my channel point redeems. But yeah. Hold on a sec. Actually, because you did all those channel point redeems, Crocky, let me actually refund a couple of those. Just because, like, you were doing it for research purposes. Let's go to channel points. Let's go to redeems. Request review. I will complete the hydrate. Oh, the other ones didn't give an option to give refunds. Yeah, the sound ones didn't didn't even give me the option to give a refund. Only the manual ones. I am still learning this stuff. Oh my gosh. Okay, well I appreciate it. Thank you so much for helping test and fine-tune that. Hey, Kelta, welcome. We're just taking this time to relax, get to know each other, chill and chat. I hope you're having a lovely Saturday. We were just finishing testing out some sound redeems, and we were talking about different stories and games and books and shows that we really enjoy and appreciate the story of if you want to share any, that really touched you. Or even just games or books that you really enjoyed. Chrono Cross. That sounds familiar. Is that like a really old game? Hold on. I think MapHat did a game theory on it. It looks familiar. Oh, wait, no, it's not Chrono Trigger. Okay, I was getting mistaken for another game. Okay, very cool, very cool. Oh, it's one of those really old PS1 games that had... it came in like a case with 2 different CDs instead of just one? Okay. That kind of reminds... oh, it's a sequel to Chrono Trigger. Okay. It kind of reminds me of, like, Xenosaga. But, like, Xenosaga was actually 4 games. Man, Xenosaga was long. Wow. Oh, cool. Well, I hope your roomie and their dad and their father have a great time then. It's always great to like bond with family over shared hobbies. Okay, okay. That's interesting. And I don't know, Crocky, there's an item in the game called Moo Moo Milk that comes from Miltanks. So probably Miltanks. And probably Go-Goats too. Oh yeah, the collab was really fun. I'm glad I got to play with everyone. I ended up not keeping the VOD. Oh my gosh, yikes, that's a horror story. um, but it's all good. I appreciate you stopping by, even if just for a little bit. I understand we all have different busy schedules. And just taking a little bit of time here and there, or even just catching the VOD another time, if it's up. Like, it's all cool, and I appreciate the time we do get to spend together. But thank you so much, Kelta. Okay, okay. And I'm sure there were things or moments in Chrono Cross where you were like, oh wait, that's because of like something in Chrono Trigger, or maybe there might be some like correlation. That's fair. I mean, when people hear board game online, their first thought is usually like, oh, okay, so it's like Jackbox. Like, it's a game where you play you can play like chess or Parcheesi with someone. And it's like, no, it's a parody board game that's really crazy. I love Board Game Online. It's not my favorite party game. That goes to Dokapon Kingdom. But Dokapon Kingdom's going to take a while to set up, and I want to do that with some streamer moots. I've already got one on board, I want to say, but I don't want to give out any names because like that's a hard lock-in. But I'm excited to eventually do a Dokapon Kingdom collab for like a story mode game. Because I do love me some Dokapon Kingdom. Like, that's the good stuff. It's like Mario Party meets meets a fantasy RPG meets Monopoly. All bundled into, like, a really cutesy chibi aesthetic that undercuts its cutthroat nature. Like, I'm all about that. It's, I don't believe so. Let me just look them up real quick. It seems like they do horror content or really gross content. Yeah, it seems like it's creepy stuff. Ew. Yeah, I'm not sure I want to share or talk about that too much on stream. Yeah, I'm not sure we should share cursed content here. Oh, yes, I do actually play Legends of Runeterra. I have an account, and I have Dex. It has really good flavor, and I love like how we get like extrapolations of like NPCs and stuff. But yeah, as a card game enthusiast, I play Legends. And if nobody minds, I could pull up my decks real quick. Why not? Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Okay, okay. Ding. Yes, I have played Path of Legends. I believe I have Zed's completed, and I'm working on Kennen's right now. I really like Ionia's battle trick gimmick or combat trick gimmick, where like they change around what units are blocking or attacking, and they recall. I really like the recall mechanic. It feels very tricky and deceptive, and I love deceptive stuff. Like, all the fighting game characters I play have a sense of deception to them. Crocky's already loaded in and ready to duel. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I need to actually do cannons. But just so everyone is on the same page for Legends of Runeterra, I think I'll at least bring it up for like a couple moments or whatever. Nothing to distract too much. Go to my game screen. Here's my window real quick. We're gonna drop the window capture. Your frog deck? You have a frog deck in Runeterra? I thought you only had frogs in Yu-Gi-Oh! What? Is there a frog deck in Runeterra? Oh my gosh, I have to re-put in my information? Are you serious? I sure hope I don't get locked out. Please. Thank goodness. Oh my gosh. Because, like, I have it written down, but, like, it's one of those things where it's like, oh man, what if I have to, like, go find where I wrote it down? Because, safe passwords these days are ones you can't remember, but you have saved somewhere safe. Because anyone can guess passwords based on what you like, especially if you're on social media. They can like do research through like what your favorite things are and try to like guess based on that. So like, if someone finds that like I really love playing Zed, they might be like, oh, maybe his password is like Zedmaster63 or something. I don't know. Ooh, new Path of Champion rewards. That's fair. Oh, okay. I thought you were saying like, oh, he's talking about Legends of Runeterra and I play that too. Like, let me jump in on that. Let me just get my loot real quick. I got some cool fragments. Okay. Let me go to game capture and set it to be Runeterra. Just give it a sec. There we go. Wow, it's a little bigger than it needs to be. Make it a lot smaller. Still a little small. But it's another digital card game. Well, this is a digital card game. It's like Shadowverse in that sense. I mean, okay, don't call me out like that, Fleck. Come on. You know. But yeah, I've got some decks here, mostly inspired by Mogwai's deck builds. I've got his old Shan Sharks list and I've got his Ninja Yetis list. These two I got from like one of the deck building websites. Gremlins? Like, are you thinking like which one are you thinking about? This one? Tempest Dance? But yeah, I enjoy playing every now and again. It's got a really good model. Oh, huh! I didn't know that it actually was like a trans. It was a word in a different language. Okay. Maybe that's actually an inside joke on his YouTube channel. Because Mogwai is also a YouTuber who does Legends of Runeterra content. Or as he says, daily Legends of Runeterra content, you know, more or less. But yeah, it's his YouTube name is Mogwai. Or Mogwai something, I believe. Oh, right. I forgot that. Jeez. I just realized my model is kind of in the way of seeing everything. There we go. Little bit better. But yeah, I've got some decks here. You can see that I like ghostly things. Very spoop, much ephemeral, much ghostly. I like tricks and that kind of stuff. This is a deck where, like, you know, just when you think I'm about to attack, I, like, recall all my dudes. And this is more like a support deck. I do have me some illusions there. Zed is one of my favorite champions in this game. Because when he declares an attack, he makes a little shadow double. Yeah. I love me some illusions. And decks that let me do, like, deceptive trickery kind of stuff is, like, really just my jam. So, like, he also has access to cards that, like, oh, you think you're attacking this card? Well, I'm going to trade it out for, like, a shadow. With, like, Zed's Shadow Shift. So, like, recall a unit you control back to your hand so it gets to survive. And then, like, make a shadow in its place. Yeah, I like trickster stuff. It's my content. It's the brand. And Kennon's also pretty cool. Oh, I accidentally put Kennon in the deck. I've heard about Jhin, especially when paired with Annie is like the big thing. I know a lot of people are really excited for Jhin, so I hope people are enjoying Jhin while he's super strong. I'm not sure if he'll get nerfed eventually. Have I put opponents to sleep with a name like that? Maybe. Probably. I feel like I put my opponents to sleep with my long ramblings, rather than, my name, honestly. Well, that's just me, though. Right, yes. Morpheus, the god of sleep. Yeah. Thought you were making a joke more so on the fact of, like, Morpheus Umbris is a really long name. Ooh, okay. I might have to check that out at some point. Not now, because I'm not really super excited about playing Jhin in the Path of Champions. Ooh, there are new challenges, okay. Yeah, technically Morpheus is the god of dreams. And his father, Hypnos, was the god of sleep. And his uncle was Thanatos, god of death. And his siblings were... Yeah, it was Hypnos, or Hypnos, depending on how you want to go for it. Oh, Murph's dad is Hypnos. No, not quite. Yeah. Not quite related to that. uh... Oh yeah, time definitely flies by when you're having fun. His labs, yeah, Path of Champions lets you basically play with your favorite card in like a story mode kind of thing. I'm gonna open my vault real quick while I'm here. I might as well, while we're talking. I can never like there's so much cool like lore in different worlds. Like, it's always cool to, like, go to different worlds and see what kind of, like, stories they come up with. And human history, like, has its own share of, like, interesting things, like Nordic mythology, Greek mythology, different religions, oral traditions. Ooh, I got more fragments for Bard, I guess? I don't know. Anyway, I've got my materials saved up. I'll probably just call it at that. Boop. There we go. But yeah. suppose, but I feel like what's really important is, like, I feel like there have been a lot of ideas that have been done before, but I think what's really important is how you iterate and remix it to make it fresh or new or more interesting or put a different spin on it, you know? Like, for me, Morpheus isn't, like, my real full name. It's, like, more of, when I came here, I learned about the god Morpheus, and I was like, huh, that's really cool. So that's part of, like, I was like, huh. Morpheus sounds cool. Combines my name with, like, you know, a little bit of cool story lore here. That's true. That's true. But yeah. I found the Oneiroi lore, or the lore about the Oneiros, pretty interesting. Like with Phobator or Akelos and what's the last one? Phantasos. Um, like all of the dream siblings that are supposed to be like numbering like the hundreds for different types of dreams, but there are like only three big ones. Um, but yeah, very wild stuff, honestly. Ooh, I'm sure SCP has like a spin on this. Like they've got a spin on kind of everything, I want to say at this point. Let me put my tunes back on. There we go. Interesting, interesting. Okay. Is it like you dream and the weird stuff actually happens to you? Or maybe it like affects you physically? I'm not sure. Oh man. I mean, it'd be pretty cool to be responsible as the god of sleep, but like, that's a lot of responsibility. Wowee. But I'll have to check out SCP-999 then sometime, Sonny. Get the deets there. But yeah, that's a lot of responsibility for one person. But I'd at least try to give everyone good dreams, but yikes. I'd probably have to outsource some of the work to like Baku or sheepies. Cause like sheep and Baku tend to be like the two big animals that are related to sleep. Oh, that's really cool. Interesting. Because, like, I know SCP has, like, a game. Aw, cute orange slime. Okay, okay. Ooh, okay. I could definitely see that, Fled. Oh, that's adorable, Sonny. I like that. We all need a cute orange slime in our lives to hug away the pain. You right, you right. I just have to make sure I don't brick on dream mirrors, which they do all the time. Man, I love dream mirrors. Like, before I played Dream Mirrors, I actually played Phantom Knights and Hazy Flames. But the moment Dream Mirrors came out, even though everyone was saying, like, what's their win condition? Like, these are really bad. I was like, I don't care. I want to play them. And I played them from Wave 1 when they were really awful. And their best end board was, like, Ikalos and then Morpheus on the opponent's turn. Like, just wowie. It's taken a couple waves of support from Dream Mirrors to become better and better, but, yeah. Telepathic spider. Interesting. Does the spider do anything with its telepathy besides read minds? Like, does it do anything with the thoughts that it reads? Does it, like, eat them? Does it act on them? Does it use them to manipulate people? Or does it, like, help people, like, with their problems that they're too scared to talk about? I mean, an Aussie accent is just fun. Okay, a mate's cool. I dig mates. Well, you're already getting pretty good there, Crocky. Oh my gosh. Sonny, you might be onto something there. Yo, okay. That's pretty sus. Are you sure you're not part of the SCP Foundation right now? Have we been invaded? Ooh. I might have to check that out then. Wow. Fair enough, fair enough. We all have those times. Oof. Oh gosh, the Eldritch Truth! Aw, that's really sweet, Kelta. Fled, please. Fled, please. You read the terms when entering chat. It's okay, though. It's at least relevant to the topic. So I don't mind too much. And you're a friend, so, you know, it's all good. As it is, I kind of plugged other channels, too. But yeah, my terms are like, hey, don't shamelessly self-plug, but, like, you know, it's okay. It's relevant to the topic. I just don't want, like, people to randomly be like, oh, man, your design's really cool. Go check out my channel. And be like, that's a little sus. Like, did you just come here to do that? Ooh, Kelta. That is a very good lore question. Let me just take a drink real quick before I answer your question. Alright. So because you've redeemed the lore question, I can't, I'm not allowed to be dodgy with it. I have to give you a straight answer. I actually made it myself. After studying from another world on different forms of magic, I actually crafted this one myself. And it's actually made out of magic. The most important component is the little gem in the forehead center piece. But yeah. Fled, please! Fled, please! Fled, you're just trying to get timed out now. Come on now. Oh, man. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it might be a real link. People will buy up links like crazy. Yeah, wowie. But yeah, so I made the mask myself after studying magic abroad in different worlds. Ooh, mask crafting Miko family. That's pretty cool. But yeah, I made it myself. And it's basically just made out of magic. The only real physical part of it is the gem on top. I mean, a little bit. It's inspired by, I'd say, a more tribal sense of magic. I'm not really good with crafting things. Like, I do a little bit of alchemy here and there, but I'm kind of an amateur with it. Well, it's not really like it's kind of like a milky white gem. It's not really like what you consider like a gemstone in the traditional sense. Like, it's not like a ruby or anything, or a diamond. It's not really reflective in any capacity. It's kind of more like a white diamond-shaped rock. Just kind of a very pale, milky white. But yeah, so I made it myself, and it has some very, potent magical properties, so I don't, wear it directly. Okay, yeah, that's very similar then, yeah. I haven't watched Steven Universe, but yeah, it's similar in that case, because, the gem itself, keeps the shape of the molded magic. But yeah. I hope that, that answers the question. Man, I really like it. And, because it's made of magic, I can just kind of stick it to my head, and it kind of just magnetizes and sticks there. I don't have to use straps or anything. So yeah. And I can just remove it when I want to. That's fair. It's really rough when like a show gets big and there's a studio breathing down your neck and they have to worry about ratings and everything. And eventually you have to wrap it up even though you might want it to be a certain way. That's completely fair, Kelta. That's kind of the nature of like getting a question answered. When one question is answered, another one spirals out like, okay, well, where did you go? Like, who taught you to make the mask? What does the mask do? Like, why don't you wear it on your... Like, there's so many different questions that come forth from that. Yeah, like the clasp. But yeah, because it's made of magic and I can just kind of like use magic to make it connect to my head, I don't need to have a clasp. And clasps are kind of like irritating, so it just kind of sticks to my head when I want it to. Because magic can replicate the properties of different materials, so I kind of use it like a sticky substance almost. Without actually being gross like a sticky substance. Oh, the clasp on the mantle, the gem? That's actually from my mother. When I got this robe, she gave it to me as a gift. I won't say anything more about it. Ooh, sorry, I didn't notice. Sorry, I saw that there was there was a lore question there, and I thought it was the same one from before. But yes, let me answer your lore question. Are there gems like my mask in swords? I haven't seen anyone do that. The gem I use for my mask is like a magic receptacle. So I imagine it could very well be used for swords. I just haven't seen it be done. Personally, like during my travels. I haven't explored the entirety of my own world. But I imagine for... I don't know, usually like when a magic swordsman in my world uses a sword with magic, they usually just channel the magic temporarily. The gem itself is meant to hold magic for a long period of time. But yeah, you could definitely make illusion swords with that kind of thing. But yeah, usually you would put it into a sword if you wanted to hold a spell for a very long time as like an innate property. But usually you just do that during the smithing process, so it holds it without there being a gem that can be cracked or broken. So I imagine it's not done for practical reasons. Just because, like, if the gem cracks, then the magic is broken. And it's a very external source that can be snapped. And usually you just want to do it during the forging process to imbue the sword with magic from the start, so that it'll keep the magic and there isn't a weak point for it. But hypothetically, you could do it. Fair enough, fair enough. But yeah, you could use it to make an illusion sword. You could use a gem and make it hold a spell so that it creates a sword. And the gem keeps the sword in its form until the gem is broken. Oh my gosh, becoming a gem knight. Personally, I'm not a big fan of armor. For me, I prefer lighter, more comfortable clothing that allows me better maneuverability. Just personally. But I could see potentially, like, making a golem out of magic that way. Like, using a gem to, like, make a construct. It's true, illusionists don't need armor. Our spells are innately elusive in nature, so we try to dodge things as best we can. But, gem armor is pretty cool. It's, I imagine, very heavy, though, if you just made it completely out of gemstones. Do. Okay, very cool, very cool. That's a very good, I'm sure that definitely A gem to make an army of swords with one sword. That'd be interesting. Definitely, definitely. But a gem usually only holds, like, one spell. Usually, if you wanted to make an army of swords, you'd actually just use a spell for it. Because you don't need an army of swords all the time. You could probably use, like, a bunch of different spells together. Like, to try and just forge a bunch of magic swords that stay. That's an interesting problem to tackle. I'm sure if there was, like, a magic smith, they could definitely try to, like, figure something out. Because there are so many different types of spells in magic that you can kind of blend together. Okay, okay. But yeah, being like a walling game in fantasy worlds is really nice because it means that it's really easy to make friends because they're like, oh man, they're protecting me. Absolutely, you could definitely make a spell for that. Like there are already necromancy spells that create like ghosts as like an attack kind of a deal. And there are spells that can create golem constructs. So, like, it's not that much different. You're just doing it with metal and steel. I'm not sure how well made the swords would be, but, like, you could also use, like, you could also make it so they're just made out of pure magic, so they basically emulate the same qualities of a sword. I have not watched Black Clover, but I've heard good things about it. I've watched Fairy Tail, though. But because Black Clover has such an in-depth magic system, I probably should watch it. Okay, your question might have been at Crocky. If so, my bad then. But yeah, magic can take all sorts of different forms, and it's really cool and clever to see what people will use to innovate. Similarly to technology in this world. If there's a problem, and technology doesn't really solve it just yet, people are trying to figure out new ways to use current technology and iterate on it to do and solve different problems. Or even, like, expand on the current technology. And I think that's really cool. It's just my takeaway, though. Man. If only. If only. From what I've heard, though, there are, like, devices that, you guys have created to, attract mosquitoes specifically. To try and just kill them off. I mean, that's one way to get magic to work for you, and there's no shortage of people using their talent to try and, do well for themselves, yeah. But that's interesting. I didn't even know mosquitoes, drank nectar. I just thought they lived off blood. Really shows that for as much as I might or think I know, there's so much more I don't know. Okay. That's fair. I'm definitely not an ecologist by any stretch of the imagination. So, yeah, I'm probably definitely not the person to talk about, like, what to do about certain species. Okay, okay. I appreciate it. It's important. This channel is not just to learn about, like, different games, but also to learn a little bit more about each other and our world. And if you just enjoy spreading knowledge, sure, why not? Wow, mosquitoes that eat mosquitoes. That's pretty wild. But ice magic is definitely pretty cool. I feel like you'd like ice make in Fairy Tail specifically, because you like make a lot of constructs with it. Dun, dun. Oh, I should also mention, because the magic in the mask is kept intact by the gem, anti-magic doesn't immediately dispel it. Which is another benefit. Because it actually seals the magic into a solid shape, so anti-magic doesn't disperse it immediately. You actually have to break the gem. That's another important thing to share. So it has its, like, its utility boons for it. So even though it's made of magic, like, if you hit it with anti-magic, it won't immediately just disperse. Because it's sealed in a physical form. Playground is like, oh no, you can't dispel my magic because blah-de-blah-de-blah. Wow, way to call me out there, Fled. Way to call me out. Yikes. Getting gaslit in my own chat room. Wowee. Jeez. How could you do this to me? I appreciate it, I appreciate it. A little bit of sass is always fun. Ice is definitely very flexible. We could all murder with words. It just depends on what we say. But blood or star magic. That's a very interesting combination of words. And I have to question if, like, that's something you've seen in another series. Like, is that from Black Clover? I mean, it sounds like Radahn's magic, but we know that's just gravity magic taken to, like, the extreme. Okay, not all of that together. Fair enough. I was like, so what, you're molding the blood of stars? I mean, that'd be pretty wild, honestly. I'm not sure how useful that would be in everyday practice, but that'd be pretty cool. Oh, you meant blood or star instead of blood or star. Okay. That's cool. Yeah, I thought the typo E was actually part of it, so I was like, oh, you're controlling the blood ore of a star. Okay, yeah. Blood magic and star magic are both pretty cool. Blood magic is definitely a lot more dangerous, I'd say. For fairly evident reasons. Because blood is like the life essence of a lot of creatures. And messing with life is pretty dangerous, especially if you don't know or don't care what you're doing. But thankfully there are some who... Yeah, thankfully, just like, there are stereotypes about, morticians who really value life, I feel like there are also, those who manipulate blood and essence and life essence who have a better respect and understanding for life due to their craft. Of course, there are the tropes of people who have no regard for life, manipulating life and seeing it as beneath them, but I feel like there are also those who, like, value life because of their craft. Like, maybe they started it because they wanted to be powerful, but they had a better understanding and respect for life, similar to a druid, maybe. Okay, cool. Oh my gosh, that'd be one way to one-up them. Get a little revenge. Just do it because they believed you couldn't. And I'd say that really depends, Crocky. Do you want to make blood ice? Otherwise, you'd probably just pull water from the atmosphere or from your surroundings to solidify into ice, or you'd actually just freeze your own magic. Really depends, honestly. Magic's really flexible, and it can emulate properties of different real-world materials. That's spooky. Do 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 do. Oh, yep. Ars Magica is very cool. I believe Ars Magica... I know Ars Magica from Blaze Blue. I think Fate also uses it, too. I'm not sure what other series use Ars Magica as a system. Okay. Very cool, very cool. Yikes. You don't just make one to piss them off, you do two of them. Jeez. Yikes. Maybe let's not talk about things quite that morbid or gross. Just as a request there, buddy. That's, also, that's not how you do blood poisoning. You infuse your blood into their blood to do blood poisoning. If anything, that just gets to their digestive tract, which is also terrible. For different reasons. Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. Like, yikes. Oof. Yeah. But the good news is you're at least, you know, not directly harmed by them, I imagine, due to your, due to evolution and, your body just naturally being acclimated to them. Yeah, absolutely. You act as a carrier instead of, taking on all the ill effects. But I'm thinking... we've probably hit a point... we could probably just do a recap of things. Yeah, bottles of water definitely help. Again, you could probably, like, pull moisture out of the air around you, if you really wanted to, or just freeze your own magic if you really needed to. But yeah, I'm thinking we could probably just do, like, a recap for, because I don't think everyone has been here since the beginning. And I'm not sure, like, if I still have my, like, debut up. It's probably in a VOD somewhere. If everyone's down for that. Otherwise, we just keep talking. And nobody explodes. Very true, very true. It's important to... if you only have access to one type of magic, or you want to specialize... that you take it as far as you can go to make up for diverse people with more diversified suites of skills. Yeah. Fire magicians also need to be adept at not fainting if they want to cauterize their own wounds. Yeah. Which is extremely painful, by the way. I would not recommend. But yeah, it's... if you have a certain craft that you specialize in, or you want to specialize in, you have to be really passionate about it and really care about how far you want to take it. That's fair. I could definitely see you, like, wanting to be, like, a Zenitsu type. Like, with, like, just speed blitzing enemies. Like, with the Ido. Because the Ido's pretty cool. Ooh, yeah, kinetic. Having control over, like, the release of energy. That'd be pretty wild. Be a very, physical form of magic. Yeah, yeah. Like, building up kinetic energy in your limbs and then releasing it all at once. Be like a build up and release kind of magic. Very physically oriented. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You could also use it to like really rupture armor because you could have it so that you build all of the energy into a single place and have it try to burst out. Yeah, yeah. Okay. In the meantime, we'll just keep the music going then. But yeah, there's a bunch of different interesting ways to implement magic. Yeah, time magic, depending on what you discern as time magic, can be either really strong or just really clever. I like how time magic was used in Fairy Tail, because for the most part it wasn't used on physical people. It was more about, using time magic on inanimate objects. So, like, you would use it to, like, speed up plant growth, or make things decay, like the floor. Which was actually really clever. I like that implementation of time magic. And yeah, they probably do mean can. I mean, why go through the trouble of making an imaginary weapon when you just rapid fire a bunch of small spell bullets? Like, why go through the extra time? You could basically do what Byakuya does in Bleach. And just make, like, an army of, like, little magic bullets and just start firing them from the air. You don't need to make a projective item for that. But you could. If, you're more comfortable using one. Yeah, basically, you make a ton of magic missiles. If you know Dungeons and Dragons. Like, I get it, it's very funny, to, like, use the power of gun against magic, but, like, you can also use magic to do the same thing, but also faster. And without, you know, needing an arm free, potentially. Yeah. I mean, they'll still be useful in anti-magic fields. You know? Like, if you can't use magic in an area, sure, use other things like throwing knives, but like... Yeah. I mean, it depends how fast the caster is and how fast the spell is, but yeah, there's nothing that stops a person from, like, just running up to a mage and cutting their spell before it happens. You'd, of course, probably need a weapon forged of a certain material to cut through spells, and actually have it, you know, disarm the spell. Because just bringing steel through a magic spell won't disperse it, it'll just pass through it and get affected by the spell. It'd need to be crafted of a certain material first, or enchanted itself to be able to cut into spells and actually disperse them. But it can be done hypothetically. You just have to be prepared for that specifically. Which, of course, like anything else, is more expensive than just having a sword. There is, unfortunately, a price tag, even in my world, for those kinds of conveniences. So most go without. But if they have, if they're a seasoned warrior and they can afford it, they'll go for it. Yeah. I mean, that's fair. I mean, it kind of depends on the spell. Like, if the opponent's readying a fireball and you bring your katana through it after oiling it up so it'll catch fire, then you could, like, bring a firing katana at your opponent and use their own spell against them in that capacity, but I don't think that would work for every spell. Like, if it's an electricity spell, and your katana's made of metal, and you don't have something to absorb the shock, you're probably just gonna zap yourself, unfortunately. Like, I know it's really cool to think, like, you slash through the lightning, and, like, you get the lightning on your sword, but also, like, you'll probably just get electrocuted because you don't have anything to hold the charge specifically on the metal part. Just things to consider. Because sometimes people do things that are a little too dangerous and not well thought out. Like, yikes. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it would have to be, like, rubber, but I don't think rope doesn't conduct electricity. I'm pretty sure rope still conducts electricity, just not as much as metal does. Like, I'm pretty sure if a bolt of lightning hit a sword, it would affect anything that's holding the sword. But again, I'm not a physics expert. So I could be wrong on that point. My point is, just using a normal sword on a spell to steal some of the energy for your weapon isn't always going to work in your favor. And I am not familiar with Kamijo Toma. As much of a fan I am of looking into different worlds, I have not... I've only scratched the surface on all the different worlds and all the different spell systems. Wait a second, Kamijo Toma. Wait a second, is he from Science Railgun? For a second there, I thought that was the name of a series, not a person. If so, yes, I know Kamijo Toma and his Imagine Breaker. Or I guess, do you mean that, like, I know of Kamijo Toma, or do you mean that if I've met him? Okay. Yeah, I'm familiar with Kamijo Toma from Railgun. Or not specifically Railgun, but Tawarima Jutsu no Index. Yeah, his Imagine Breaker is a very peculiar, I guess it could be considered a skill, because it's neither divine nor magical. It's simply an aspect of the world to a degree. It kind of returns things to its natural state without divine or magical intervention. Which is pretty cool. But yeah, Toma's pretty cool. Yeah, he's pretty good at just punching magic and it stops working. Of course, the weakness is it only works on his hand, and what he touches with that specific hand, and it's only on one hand, it's not on both hands. That said, some really smart mages have tried to prevent him from doing so to disastrous results. But, yeah, he's pretty cool. He's got a good moral compass on him, I'd say. And it definitely helped put things a bit more in perspective for Accelerator. I hope that's not spoilers for anyone, because that's like really early stuff in Tawadu, and it's very popularly shown, but it could be. If so, I'm sorry to anyone who I've spoiled potentially. As far as Magic and series goes, I really like specifically Mist Flame in Kata Kyoshi Hitman Reborn. But that's just because, like, you know, I'm like, oh, illusion things. I love illusion things. So, like, seeing Mist Flames used in KHR has been really cool, and I feel like they have, like, the best illusion fights of any series I've seen so far. Just personally. Because they actually have, like, illusionists go up against each other, and it becomes a battle of wills, which is pretty true to life, honestly. Because illusions are an expression of your imagination, so it becomes a battle of imagination and wills between users, and whoever can, like, overpower the other person's imagination first. Which is really cool. Because illusion magic is really just controlling a person's senses in the moment and bringing dreams into reality, kind of. Like, there's a lot to it, and I could go on long tangents about it, but I don't want to bore everyone with it. So yeah. Alright. Thank you for stopping by, Kelta. Sleep well, and I'll catch you later. Whew. Yeah, it can definitely get pretty messed up. Yeah. And it's also very mana intensive. Personally, I feel it's much easier to mess with a person's sense of direction or orientation than it is their sense of time. But perception of time is very powerful. Even if making people skip like half a second. Because that throws off their timing. Direction is much easier to control, but it's... yeah, it's not quite as powerful. Yeah. You could also, like, hypothetically use illusions on yourself to make yourself perform better. Like, make you feel like you're faster or stronger. Unfortunately, because it's an illusion, it won't actually make you that way. Yeah, you could do that. You could very easily make someone feel a stomach ache or a headache to make them perform worse. And it's really easy to do. Just as you can make yourself feel like you're in peak condition, you can make your opponent feel like they're not in peak condition. And it's a very easy way to make an opponent easier to fight. You just have to understand what that feeling feels like to better make it believable or experienceable. Alright. Yeah, I don't know. That's the second one. I mean, I guess this is credit that, like, I'm going up in the VTuber world. Hooray. Well, wait. I mean, it depends on the spellcaster and the spell system. Some spells take longer than others. Some magic systems take longer than others. Where I come from, spells... I don't know. But something you can do is, like I was saying, in my world, spells aren't that different from, like, doing normal gestures. You just have to focus your mana, and you have to do gestures for it. Like, if you're going to throw a fireball, you actually kind of have to, like, use your hands to throw the fireball. So it's mostly somatic components. You don't really need verbal components or material components, if you know Dungeons & Dragons. But you need to, like, focus your energy, basically. And you need to channel and mold the spell itself. Kind of like chakra manipulation in Naruto, but without hand signs. But yeah, if you're really fast as a samurai-type character, you could probably just hit the person before they even finish the spell, and because their concentration will be broken, the spell will naturally disperse. Because it requires you to focus. And build the energy up. So if you hit them before they finish building and shaping the energy, the spell will just fizzle out. So, like, if I'm making a fireball, and someone punches me in the gut before I finish, the flames will just flicker out. If I were to make a fire spell and get hit in the gut. But yeah, hypothetically, you could do that with the magic system I'm talking about, that I function under. Yeah, you've basically already used it up. You don't lose the whole spell because you didn't finish, but you lose all the mana that you just put into it. So if you wait till the very last moment, they lose more mana than if they're just starting it. It's like you could imagine it like you're filling up a balloon with water to make a water balloon, and you pop the balloon before they finish. So if you pop the balloon before they finish, then they lose all the water they put into it. If it's a really powerful spell, and it's almost at completion, it can backfire and the magic can erupt violently. So it can be very dangerous for both the caster and the attacker. So if the spell is really strong and it's not ready, it can backfire violently. And potentially kill both parties. Which, definitely not ideal. This is why, when you practice magic, you have to be very careful and very disciplined with it. So that if you do make a powerful spell, it's not so haphazardly and quickly done that it has those explosive elements to it. Because if it's prepared quickly and poorly, and it's disrupted, that can be very bad. But it really just depends on the spell in question and how it's done. If nothing else. But yeah. I mean, if you want to consider getting blown up a win, then sure, buddy. The unfortunate thing is, both of you lose your life, so that's the unfortunate consequence. Personally, I'd feel that as a no-win scenario. Because ideally, you want to get out of that, not dead. True, you could potentially have a magic barrier to, maybe reduce magical damage. I mean, that's cool, Crocky. You can win in your brain, but your brain will be fried, so, like, cool beans. You know? That's cool in a video game, though. I'm not sure about forbidden magic, though. Do you mean, like, forbidden magic that, like... What would forbidden magic fix, is your question, I guess. Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah. If you're in a From Software game and you're invading, and you cancel a spell and you both die, yeah, you'd still be considered victorious. Is resurrection forbidden in my world? Yes. It is morally frowned upon for several reasons. It's frowned upon morally, it's frowned on, economically, it's frowned on, like I said, for a number of different reasons. It's not taboo because you can't do it or you shouldn't do it. Like, it is something you shouldn't really mess with too much. It is, of course, dangerous. Because you're messing with life forces and souls. And you should reasonably let the dead live in peace, or rest in peace. But aside from those... I mean, yeah. Hypothetically, magic can fix if one or both parties die. Yeah. Hypothetically, you could bring someone back from that. That was an interesting hiccup. But yeah, Resurrection is, That's true, that's true. Alright. Thanks for tuning in, Crocky. I'll catch you later. Have a good night. But yeah, like you said, a lot of worlds don't really... Well, not every world puts thought into it. But, like, think of it this way. A modern problem today is the job market, and, for example, you could use, resurrection magic to have a labor force, but that's not really good for the job market, as just one example of, why it's... Yeah. It's just one reason why, in a world where magic exists, it's a concern that isn't usually thought about. Because usually when people think about, like, oh, resurrection magic is bad, it's because of, like, you're violating a person's right to rest in peace. And that's true. You are bringing them back to a life that they left behind. But it also has other impacts in a world where magic exists. But yeah. That's definitely a hot take, and definitely up for debate. And there is always the question of, like, at what point does science preserve us to the point of violating the sanctity of life? And that is a moral question. That philosophers and doctors will debate for many, many years to come, I feel. But yeah, definitely not my place to say one way or the other, honestly. As technology grows, our ability to understand and handle it will change over time. For better or worse, honestly. There's not a lot I can really do or say to the contrary. Yeah, definitely. I understand why. Life is really good when it's good. And it's really scary to think of the alternative. Oh, absolutely. All of their games touch upon the horrors of immortality. Especially Sekiro. Which I am going to be streaming next week. So there's my shameless plug for the stream. But yeah, Sekiro definitely has something to say about the horrors of immortality. Because it's got some good perks, which is just living more, but it's got its share of very traumatic issues. True. Yeah. But yeah, it definitely does devalue life in a sense. It allows you to experience life more, or more of life, but when you make it endless, it kind of... It does devalue some of its responsibility or its value to a degree. Something is lost there. And I think that's really cool to look at in stories, especially with, like, vampires and how they slowly lose their sense of humanity. And you see that, especially in stories where vampires try to blend in and associate with humans instead of just treating them like cattle. And to a degree, becoming immortal could make you less of what people consider now to be what makes a person human, you know? Empathy, understanding the fragility and appreciating that fragility of life. But when it's just, you know, guaranteed forever, and you don't have to worry about it, then yeah, it very much becomes something that you take for granted. Like plumbing in the modern day. Like, when's the last time we thought about appreciating our own plumbing? That's huge! And that hasn't been a thing for many thousands and thousands of years. Even millions of years. And that's something we take for granted each and every day. And And the same could be said of, like, if people were immortal suddenly and didn't have to worry about disease or anything. It's part of the human experience, and I'm sure, like, you could, I'm sure we're definitely approaching that point, and there have been stories that have theorized on what would happen, with different races like that. For example, the Deva in Zoroastrianism. Creatures who are of such heavenly status that they don't have to do or work for anything. So they ended up so morally corrupt that they were always right, that they ended up, basically embodying the sins. Which, spooky stuff. Definitely cautionary tale kind of stuff to think about. But yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. There's always, like, an opportunity cost there. Definitely not for anything for us to decide, but it's definitely fun to chew on and think about. That said, I am sorry if, this, does make people a little uncomfortable to discuss. Just personally. So, I think we'll probably lighten the topic up a little bit. Let's start with maybe... Puppies are really cute. Puppies are good. Yeah, puppies are definitely cute. Very good companions. Yeah. Just any animal companion, honestly. It gives a sense of companionship and love, even when the world can get, you know what, we'll just say they're great. Love our pet companions, whether it's puppies, or birds, or cats, or mice, or hamsters, or what have you. They're all great. Yeah, let's keep it cool. Let's keep it cool. Oh man, man. All right. Ooh, snow is beautiful. Snow is beautiful. Yeah. It's very pure and white and soft and a little crunchy too when it's packed together. And it's very cool to the touch, and it gives a sense of, like, serenity and purity. Like, that's good imagery. That's good imagery. Oh, it's not? This is another science fact. Ooh, it's transparent. Interesting. I could sort of get that. Then why... Because, like, when you examine snow very clearly, you can kind of see through it. Okay. So it appears white. Okay. Interesting. Alright. Just a second, I'm gonna check something. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Do you have a favorite season? Would it be winter? I'm always kind of on the fence about a favorite season, honestly. Like, they've all got pros and cons. Winter is very nice and reflective and serene. I don't know, I also like spring because it's not too hot yet, but it's not too cold. Okay. Well, we're definitely in summer now. Oh, but I do like autumn because of Halloween, though. But that's separate from a season thing. That makes sense, because of hibernation reasons. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. I'm not a big person when it comes to extremes, usually. Even though I do like extreme themes, usually. I don't know, it's weird. Like, sometimes yes, sometimes no. It really depends, because context is everything. Yeah, the trees do get really pretty in autumn. Really, spring trees in bloom. What kind of trees are they? If you're aware or familiar with what kind of tree they are. Like, are they called spring trees? Are they like cherry blossoms that were like not imported, but like transferred overseas? Because I know, like in Washington, I believe they have a cherry blossom festival because they have cherry blossoms over there. I think. Okay, okay, that's fair. That's fair. All right. Yeah, yeah. All life has its time to bloom, and then it makes we make room for new things. Life is the one constant in life is change, and you don't fight the flow. When you struggle to fight the flow, you make life a lot more painful for yourself. And life changes like the seasons. And you just let it come and you let it go. Yup, death and taxes, baby. Death and taxes. Oh, man. It'd be like that, though. Especially when you take taxes to be loosely just like the tax for living. Yup. Alright, alright. Thanks for tuning in, Fled. I assume you're heading out now. Alright, alright. Catch you later, catch you later. Thanks for stopping by and chatting with me. Alright, night-night. Alright, if anyone else wants to talk or ask questions or share a little bit about themselves, like maybe what they really enjoy story-wise, or just anything really. I've got some redeems, if you guys have any questions or anything, or just want to ask one without a redeem, it doesn't matter. But I think for this point in the stream, I'm probably just going to recount my weird adventures as a VTuber and getting into things. And yeah. Just gonna head over here. Gonna make myself a little smaller. Or just kind of tuck myself into the down here-ish. Yeah, there we go, there we go. Gonna cut the music real quick. Go to my videos. And we're gonna get my slides. That I keep using every now and again. Are these the same slides? Oh my gosh, these are the same slides. What is wrong with me? Okay. Oh yeah, those are my hashtags. Which I already have like most of them done. I might as well like show them off again. Why not? Did I... Yeah, I think I did change my hashtags a little bit. Yeah, I have since then. Oh well. That's fine. Let's take a look in a book, Reading Rainbow. We want this one, I think. What's the difference between these two? Oh, okay, this one was just easier to read. Alright, I like that then. We'll use that one. I'll just talk and share a little bit about myself, because we just kind of been chilling and chatting for now. So let's go to my window capture. There's my Twitter. And we're going to get... Oh, I can't choose that. I guess I have to choose game capture, maybe? For it. And that's my music. Can I not throw up the video? Uh, maybe it's considered a music thing. Let's take a look. Okay, yeah, these are windows, so I can't do that. It's got to be game capture, I guess. Nope. Will not capture it. Alright, well, I guess for that case, I'll have to do a display capture. Even better. Get a display capture. There we go. Oh man, that took up the entire screen. Let's bring that a good bit down. There we go. But yeah, this was one of my slide back when I was first debuting. I'm 29 now. My goals are still pretty much the same as before. There are still so many different games and stories that I want to share with everyone. But for everyone who's new and who's been joining me on my adventures, this is just sort of like a touching base. Because I don't imagine everyone wants to go through my VODs and find this. But there are so many different games that I want to play, like Sekiro, Gunvolt, Ghost Trick, Genshin, Precone, The World Ends With You, Star Force. I've already done Witch's House, and I mean, I'm still doing Yu-Gi-Oh! I've done Hollow Knight. I've done a little bit of Elden Ring here and there. Favorite foods are still the same. And 2022 is still early, but so far it's going good. Slowly building bigger and better. I still want to do lore and character videos. I'm still working on my Shadowverse Flame video, tweaking it before I put it out. I've already debuted. One day there will be the lore video on myself, maybe in a couple years. Same with TV Tropes page. What else? But yeah, I come from another world, Lacroge. I'm an illusionist. Branding-wise, I'm a storyteller because that makes more sense for the kind of content that I want to share. I got a mask. I love Souls-likes and card and board games. And yeah, I forgot to add to one of my long-term goals. One day, I'd like to actually go to an event, like an anime expo, and like one day like rent a room or something, and like have like a live duel in front of everyone with like you guys, kind of a thing. I think that'd be really cool in a couple years from now. As things go, if things ever take off to that level, I think that'd be really cool. And I hope that we can share and make many more memories together and learn more lessons. And not just learn about lessons from other characters, but like learn a little bit more about ourselves. Because that's what I feel this channel is really about. Growing together. Because I'm really new to content creation. I'm at a point in my life where I feel like I've let life pass me by a good bit. And I think it's important to live life to the fullest and not live with regret. And I hope that with this channel and with my endeavors in the future, that I can slowly, feel like I've really lived, like I've done something that I can really be like proud of at the end, like we were talking about earlier, mortality gives life a sense of meaning, a sense of purpose, a sense of reason. And it's not the end of my life by any stretch of the imagination, but it has brought me to think, man, what am I doing with it? A little bit of a wake-up call. And that's okay. Nothing that's, well, not nothing, but very often things in life that are enjoyable or meaningful are hard, and they take time and work. And I want to, even if it's small, little steps here and there, I want to get better at this. and I want to enrich and maybe like warm up someone's day, even just a little bit, honestly. But yeah, but that's gonna take time and patience and effort, and that's fine. I'm just gonna do it a little bit at a time. Move that. Go back here. And let me just move this over here because I had to readjust some things. But yeah. Whew. Life's a wild ride. We're all going to different destinations. The world is big. There are so many different spheres that make up life, so many different interests and parts of it, and they all intersect at different points and junctures. The world is large and beautiful and tragic, and there's a lot to experience. And I hope to be able to experience it with all of you, a little bit here and there, as we touch base. But yeah, I think we've been streaming for a good bit, talking, sharing a little bit. If anyone has any questions, feel free to chime in now. But otherwise, I think we could probably just kind of like take it easy. Kind of just close out for tonight. Because it's still pretty early in the evening. Still plenty of things to do, adventures to have. And yeah, I think I'll just let you guys enjoy the rest of your Saturday evening. So, alright. And keep all... let me just check something. Just want to check something real quick. Thank you so much. You too, Sonny. Yeah, I hope so too. I'm gonna try and take it easy. Before I go though, I think I'm gonna end up rating Kurahono, because he's doing what looks like a cool Minecraft stream actually. Yeah, 24 hours of Scuff collab. If you guys would like. For anyone who just wants to continue to just watch streaming content. Otherwise, I hope you all have a lovely day, and thank you so much for sticking with me. I hope to catch you all on the next adventure. Alright. Night, everyone. Till next time.
Yeah, I just can't see when to jump here because there's
Did it? Oh, bro, you went in my face.
Oh. Yeah, exactly. That's my problem.
Yeah, 35 bucks Canadian is not cheap.
Ah, thank you for the follow. No, wait, that's a wait. Thank you, Murph.
Oh, you're getting ready too? Nice.
Thank you for the follow.
Yeah, the sound is exactly the same. So I just
I
think.
mean, yeah, that's true. I always have to look.
Yeah.
Same.
Oh, what just
Thank you for the raid, Murph.